Hello sir, my name is Mohammed Hoque and I'm from Group 5. Now I'm going to present the Group 5 presentation of LabTalks 1 about microcontroller based data logger system. And here are my group members Tawhid and Muhaimin Choudhury, Mohammed Shajidur Rahim and Samiul Rafi. And we have each distributed our parts accordingly. And now I'm going to give an overview of the whole system. So in our lab project, we have basically two parts. One, the Proteus, and the another one is graphical user interface, where we'll show all the data from the sensor and the simulation. And we have used a different port connecting device as the recommended one's trial got over. So we have used this one. It basically does the same thing. We have connected two ports, COM1 and COM2. And so in the Proteus, when we have a sensor which sends data to the microcontroller or the Arduino board, and Arduino board is configured using an Arduino code which is shown here, and the microcontroller's data goes to the virtual compin, and then that data goes to the graphical user interface, and we can show the data here, and that's basically it. So let's look at the simulation. So as we have the Proteus file, we have to start it, and also the lab view for the graphical user interface to show all the data. If we start both of the Proteus and graphical user interface, we can see the data in every 2 seconds. So if we open the sensor, and we can also change the values, like if we want to increase the temperature, we can increase it. We set it to 28, and here you can see that the temperature has changed, it has increased. And we can also increase it more. Let's decrease the humidity, and here you can see the humidity has also been decreased. So this is all of the simulation.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you Fahim for your part. Now I will present Arduino code. Firstly, we have to install the DHT and other necessary libraries and import them into our Arduino code. Secondly, we have to take in pin 2 as our DHT pin and DHT11 as our DHT type. Secondly, during initialization, we have to print the sample string. Thirdly, we have to start a loop. In this loop, we are given 0.5 second amount of time delay. In this loop, we have to read humidity and temperature in both Fahrenheit and Celsius respectively as our input values. Here, if our input values are null, then we have to print an error text. Then we have to compute the heat index in Fahrenheit. Finally, we have to print humidity and temperature in Celsius. Now we have to compile the code. Now if we want to install the hex file, we have to enter Ctrl plus Alt plus S. Here we can see we have compiled the code and downloaded the hex file. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Samiul Rafi from Group 5, and now let's check our Proteus circuit design. For this circuit design, we will need four main components: Arduino microcontroller, DHT11 sensor, a resistor, and a COM port. After placing them in our screen, we will need a power and a ground from the terminal. After choosing them, we will connect them with the sensor. Now we need to connect the pin 2 of Arduino with the sensor as well. After that, from the instrument, we pick the virtual terminal for showing us the result. Here the TXT pin of Arduino is connected with the RXT port of virtual terminal. We also need to connect the TXT and RXT pin with same TXT and RXT pin of physical interface model. After all the connection is done, we click on the Arduino and select the hex file that our previous teammate has sent us. Now we can simulate the circuit. Here we can see that the temperature and humidity reading in every 0.5 seconds. Now my teammate will show rest of the process.
Hello, welcome to part 4 of our presentation. I am Tawhid Muhaimin Choudhury and I will be presenting the lab view and the block diagram of our project. So let's begin. So here we have the graphical user interface, and on the right side we have a temperature thermometer to sense the temperature, and a graph that gives the graphical representation of the temperature when it goes up or down. And there is a similar thing for humidity. Instead of thermometer, here is a meter that shows the humidity from 0 to 100%, and another graph is here to show the humidity. And this table updates the value every 2 seconds that we receive from the Proteus software, and it is connected to Proteus using COM port 1 and 2. COM port 1 connected to LabVIEW and COM port 2 connected to Proteus. And additional 4 columns are here to show the IDs of our group members. Now let's take a look at the G programming part. So the data comes from Proteus to LabVIEW file, and in this graph we mainly work on the data. So firstly we need to clear the input and output buffers. So this block clears the buffers, and this block reads the data from Proteus and sends it inside a while loop. In this loop there are 2 read blocks. These 2 read blocks read the data. One reads the temperature and another reads the humidity. Then it sends the read data to the table, this table, and another block which converts the string data into numbers. Then the numbers get sent to the thermometer and the graph which shows the temperature. Similarly, for humidity sensor, this block converts the string into numbers and send it to humidity meter and humidity graph. Also, the timer is set to 2000, which means the graph will loop every 2 seconds and the table will get updated every 2 seconds. So that's pretty much all from LabVIEW and block diagram. Thank you for listening. Hope you have a